Good day everyone. Minuza and I will be discussing the lesson 10, which is the computer as a tutor. The computer is one of the wonders of human ingenuity, even in its original design in the 1950s to carry out the complicated mathematical and logical operations. With the invention of the microcomputer, now also commonly referred to PCs or personal computer, the PC has become the tool for programmed instructions. Educators so much use of the PC. It has become affordable to small business, industries, and homes. They saw its potential for individualization in learning, especially as individualized learning is a problem since teachers usually with a class of 40 or more learners. They therefore devised strategies to use the computer to break the barriers to individualized instructions. Computer-assisted instruction, or CAI, meaning the computer can be a tutor, in effect, relieving the teacher of many activities in his or her personal role as a classroom tutor. It should be made clear, however, that a computer cannot totally replace the teacher, since the teacher shall continue to play the major roles of information deliverer and learning environment controller. Even with the available computer and CAI software, the teacher must be first, ensure that students have the needed knowledge and skills for any computer activity, meaning before the teacher give an activity to their students, he or she must identify first if their students are capable to do so in that certain activity using computer. Second, decide the appropriate learning objectives. It is one of the most important part in teaching. The teacher must provide an appropriate lesson or learning objectives in order for the students to attain the right learning in that particular lesson. The third one is plan the sequential and structured activities to achieve objectives. The teacher should organize what are the things he or she would do from planning to evaluation. It should be sequential to avoid misunderstanding and confusion. And the last one is evaluate the student's achievement by ways of test the specific expected outcomes. I think one of the best way to evaluate is to provide an assessment, which is a formative assessment in which the teacher will conduct an activity or test after class discussion to test if the students met the expected outcome in the lessons. On the other hand, the students in CAI play their own roles as learners as they first, receive information, second, understand instructions for the computer activity, third, retain or keep in mind the information and rules for the computer activity, and last, apply the knowledge and rules during the process of computer learning. In general, the students must play their roles as a student or learner. They must be an active learner and listener and follow for what the teachers instructed to them. During the computer activity proper in CAI, the computer to plays its role as it act as a sort of tutor or the role traditional played by the teacher, provides a learning environment, delivers learning instruction, reinforces learning through drill and practice, and provide feedback. Since it is a computer-based activity, all the things have taken are all inside the computer. The computer takes its action to play its role. Today, educators accept the fact that the computer has indeed succeeded in providing an individualized learning environment, so difficult for a teacher handling whole classes. This is so since the computer is able to allow individual students to learn at their own pace, motivate learning through a challenging virtual learning environment, assess students through information needed during the learning process, evaluate students' responses through immediate feedback during the learning process, and also give the total score to evaluate the student's performance.
So now let's talk about CEI integrated with lessons. So CEI should not stop with the drill activities of students. CAI works best in reinforcing learning through repetitive exercise that students can practice in various subjects. So these students are given questions, then after is ang answer is mahatag dayon, and at the end they will be given feedback about their performance. So how can teachers integrate drills and practice programs? So these are the suggestions. First, use drills for basic skills and knowledge that will allow the students to answer rapidly or automatically. So, for example, mathematics. So, ano ang sa basics sa mathematics like addition, subtraction, multiplication, or and division. So, so that ang imong students is maka-answer dayon. Next is ensure the drill and practice conform to the lesson plan. So, meaning, dapat ang imong drill and practice is align or sa imong lesson plan kung sa imong gustong i-impart sa students. Next is limit the drill 20 to 30 minutes to avoid boredom. So, if taas ra kaayo is boring sa part sa estudyante, so dapat mag-set ka og limitations. Next is use drill and practice to assist with the student's weakness. So, ang imong i-practice kay ngadto sa asa naglisod ng estudyante. So the tutorial software should be first be able to teach new content to students. Dapat na kay bago nga i-impart sa student or provide practice to old topics. So if dili wala gali kay new knowledge nga mahatag, dapat ma-practice ya kung unsa ang ilahang knowledge na before. Next is provide comprehensive information and concept in addition to practice exercise. So provide comprehensive information. So dapat mas more complex or next level na ang iyang information na mahatag regarding sa different concepts na inyong istoryaan. Next is effectively used for remediations, review, or enrichment. So, tutorial software kaya pwede siya magamit nimo for enrichment, so for practicing or for reviews. So next is allows teacher to introduce follow-up question to stimulate students learning. So ang kaning tutorial software is pwede ni siya ang teacher is mo-ask sa student kung about unsa jud ilahang na learn, how far they learn, how go. Next is permit group activities for cooperation learning. So kani no man is an island, so dapat bisan pag computer inyong gigamit pwede imo siya the teacher should permit the students to work in a group. So next is simulation program. Simulation software are another kind of software that are constructivist in nature. So it teaches strategies and rules applied in real life situation. So kaning simulation program kay kanang about na gini sa real life, so mas more complex na siya nga mga programs. Next is ask students to make decision. So kaning nga program is it allows the students to choose unsa ilahang button. Next is allows the students to manipulate and experience the effect of their decisions. Like sila for example, a student is to choose ani iya sa experience if kani mo i-choose mao ni ang consequence sa imong i-choose. So ingana ang mga simulation programs. Next is instructional games. So ang instructional games are low level learning objectives. It consists challenges or competitions, for example kaning mga spelling or sa math. Example of this is Hungaroo. So katong Hungaroo is old game siya about the spelling. So if math side is naay game nga math wizard ang name. So about yapon to sa mathematics but basics lang siya. Next is problem solving software. So it is more complex. It needs to be observed, reflect, or strategize. So Example ani is escape room. Sa escape room is hatagan lang mog hint, then dapat ikaw maghuna-huna unsa na about ang hint, unsa isunod ana if makuha na nimo ang answer sa hint, unsa imong strategy sunod para maka-escape mo ato nga room. So ingano siya kana it needs complex nga kanang paghuna-huna aron makuha jud nimo ang answers. Next is multimedia encyclopedia. So kani from encyclopedia before nga book nga baga kayo nga book, gibutan nila sa computer. So it can store huge database, search vast content. So just like sa book nga katong baga kayo daghan kasi ang content, same sa sa computer, pwede ka mo search niya. However, sa computer, mas dali na lang. Kaya ganun na ka ma-search about the topic, dili na ka mag-scroll. I mean, mag-save kuan sa pages. Next is electronic books. So, provides textual information for reading. These are useful for learning reading, spelling, and word skills. So, for example, ani is usually ang mga batanon karon is into ebook siya but novel ilang mga pambasahon. A novel is useful gihapon siya, for example ang mga word skills daghan mo kag mga mahibawaan sa novel nga mga words nga kato pa ka nakadungog. So gamit gihapon siya mao ni gamit sa electronic books.